Hello, welcome to the Left Behind podcast. I'm your host, Zachary Fuller, also known as Xenerock, and as Congress fails to pass any meaningful legislation, for the most part, I wanted to focus on something more positive for this first episode of the pod. Even though we will mainly focus on local politics in the future, today I would like to focus on some positive things from last year. So I've got a great guest on. She's my partner, love of my life. She's also a graphic designer who helps me out in most of the things I do and generally is a great person. Makes good TikToks too. Make sure that's linked in the description. So you should give her a follow. Her name's Autumn Rain, and it's a long one, so we're just going to get right into it. Alright. Thanks for being on the first episode of the pod, Autumn. Our show last year didn't really work out.
It surely did not.
But what was really nice about it, though, was our first episode of Two Thoughts Just Thinking was our best of 2020 list. And so here we are again. Another year has gone by, another 365 days. Last year actually had an extra day. No, 2020 had an extra day.
Yeah, so just 365.
Yes.
You were right the first time.
Well, yeah. Let's just hop right into it. What is your 10th best moment of the year?
I think, you were there for most of them. But my 10th favorite moment was getting to redo my bedroom, finally. After so long of hating it so much. It was a lot of work, but I was really proud of the finished product, and I couldn't have persevered without your encouragement through it. And now we have a space that we can enjoy.
Yeah, I was really proud too. You really just worked like 2 days straight on cleaning that. And we got a whole new couch for free. No, it wasn't free. It was like
$65.
Yeah, but we didn't buy it new. That's good. Always good to recycle things. For me, last year, I'm not used to it being 2022 yet.
Me neither.
Last year was significantly better than 2020, which I guess isn't that surprising.
Yeah.
2020 was a stretch. We were just trying to get the positives from that year at all.
Yeah.
But I actually had to cut a lot of things out of this list, which is great. The number 10 spot for me was going to the Griffin Fair with you, which is... I don't usually like the fair.
Right.
But this was a great experience because it was in the middle of... not even in the middle, near the end of my campaign. And it felt like, wow, I'm going back out after not being out nearly at all because of the pandemic, And now I'm going out and doing this fun communal thing that just is kind of like tradition for people all over the world, right? To go out to these fairs and stuff like that, just to sort of have a good time. It's kind of like a dumb American thing, of going out and getting some gross, terrible food for you and riding really dangerous rides. But I had a really great time with you. It was pretty romantic, and it was fun kind of, it almost felt scandalous. Going out in public and deciding when to wear our mask and when not to wear the mask, and I don't know. It was the first time I won something for somebody on a game that I recall. Yeah. And so that was really nice.
It was nice. What's its name? Shadow?
Yeah.
They want me a Shadow plushie from Sonic.
By popping balloons with darts. Would not recommend. This super overpriced games, but I wanted to do it at least once. So.
And it was fun.
It was fun.
It was a good experience.
Number 9.
Number 9. So Christmas at my family's house. That was the third Christmas that we'd been in each other's lives, and it was the first time you'd ever been to my dad's Christmas dinner, which is like, you know, my family's thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really glad to have you there. We just, you know, had Christmas dinner. My dad and his girlfriend cooked all day, and we got to see like the cousins and did a little gift exchange, and it was a lot of fun. Just all coming together as one big like familial unit for like the first time.
It was lovely. It really was. It was surprisingly calm, you know, especially with a small child there and very old conservative people, but
especially compared to like last year's my mom's Christmas breakfast. That was a little bit chaotic.
High stakes.
Yeah.
High stakes, chaotic. It was very chill.
High anxiety.
Your cousin got me Stacey Abrams' book, The Time Is Now, which I'm loving. It's great. But my number 9 was surprisingly early in the year. This is the earliest on my list because basically the first 4 months I was locked down because of the pandemic. I wasn't vaccinated, did not want the virus. But this was actually before I was vaccinated in March because there was a threat to our democracy, you know. It was when Park Cannon got arrested for trying to be in the room during the signing of Senate Bill 202. And, you know, it started the hashtag Stand With Park. I was so pissed. I had been, the past 2 or 3 days, I had been staying up all night watching the Senate procedures, right? Which is extremely boring. Extremely boring. But then to hear the news that in our home state of Georgia, they're passing a voter suppression law that is so egregious, basically equivalent to the Jim Crow laws, modern day Jim Crow. And then a black, young, queer, progressive state representative just trying to do her job gets arrested for no reason. When I saw that video of her knocking on the door and then police officers putting her in handcuffs and dragging her away, I was like, this is fascism. That's it. After the scandal we saw with Donald Trump in 2020, I was like, this is fascism. I have to go to the Capitol right now. And I spent I spent hours trying to find a way there. I was like, who's going to drive me in the middle of this pandemic? I was asking strangers on Facebook to take me to this thing. And one almost did, but timing didn't work out with their work schedule. But then I broke down and asked one of our old roommates I was avoiding everyone in the house because they weren't taking the pandemic seriously. But I was like, screw it. This is worth it. And luckily, he was like, yeah, I will. I was thinking about quitting my job anyways. And I had already he was about to lose his job if he stayed out of work. And he was like, I was thinking about quitting my job anyways. So you know what? I'll take you to Atlanta. And so we went to the protest, and it was and a very important moment, but then also that was a moment where I was feet away from very important people in the state of Georgia, and that was huge. So, like, people who had been fighting for civil rights since the 50s and 60s, and then other people who were younger, who were running for local office last year, like Devin Barrington Ward, and I don't know, it was kind of a magical moment, even though it was, but not all in a good way. Like, good way with some of the people I was around, but also very scary. And, like, this is an attack on our democracy.
And, like, weren't cops, like, circling or, like, standing guard?
There were some cops, less than I thought there would be. But one of them did get his AR out of the trunk of his car, probably to scare us, because none of us had guns. Or at least we weren't open carrying. He straight up parked in front of where we were and got his assault rifle out. But nothing happened. Afterwards, went and parked at the house I used to live at. Couldn't go in because of the pandemic, but we went to this place in Weston called Tropical Taste. It's a great little kind of mom and pop Jamaican patty place. Had some great patties. Went to the park that's across from where I used to live, and just sat, talked about, like, philosophy and shit, and had great food. So, funny story. I want to tell this story. When we got back from the protest, and we're, like, in front of the park, right? I was like, I have to piss so fucking bad. Let me just go in the car and pee in a bottle. But I couldn't do that. I ended up chickening out of doing that because in the park there were children playing, and I was like, I'm not going to risk anything around these children. So me almost pissing my pants, having attempted to pee in a bottle, but I was like, I can't risk these children seeing me exposed like that. I walked all the way across the street to the bar that's across the street. Went in, pissed, and left out the back door. Went in the front door, pissed, went out the back door so that no one saw me. Just because I wasn't going to pee in the car.
Thanks for not peeing in front of children.
I try my best.
So, like, because of the pandemic, we've been, like, really isolated, like most people have. And so in 2020, I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with my family, like, not as much time as I would have wanted. And this last year, we really, towards the end of it, we got to spend more time with my brother, and his wife.
Your brother got married.
And my dad. And one of the things we got to do with my brother and his, at the time, fiance, was, like, just, like, hang out in the public pool. And that was a lot of fun because, just, like, not clique bonding and not necessarily family bonding, but, like, it was just a nice coming together of, like, reconnecting and, like, building better relationships between the four of us. And we got to play chicken for the first time. Well, it was the first time I'd ever played chicken. I took Jillian down from her face, and that was a big triumph for me. Felt bad about it later, but it was good in the moment. And then, like, you got to experience wet, long hair for the first time.
That was a great time for me.
And I just thought it was really cute because, like, as like a little girl with long hair, you know, it's such a, you know, mundane hassle. It's expected, like, ugh, my hair's gonna be in my face, it's gonna be everywhere, But I had, like, really short hair at the time, shorter than my hair is now, and Zachary got to experience the long, wet hair in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cute.
Yeah, as someone who wasn't allowed to grow their hair out as a kid, it was definitely great to... I felt like a mermaid. My number 8 is another fair trip. Going to the state fair. I think it's called the state fair. I'm actually not sure.
It is.
Okay, yeah, the state fair. Because it's not that often that I get to see my like high school friends anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We're not as... I mean, we were like, you know, we were super close in high school, and since then it's been like once or twice a year we'll see each other.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time really going out since I quit my job in 2020,
mm-hmm.
right? Because I was so locked down because of the pandemic. Because by then, this was early mid-May, maybe mid-May. But I had gotten my vaccine at the end of April, so I was like, I'm gonna go out.
Mm-hmm.
And we hung out at one of my friend's house, which it was their house in high school too,
mm-hmm.
like their parents' house. And so it was a bit of nostalgia, but they had moved rooms, and it was really cool to see how they set it up. Because, you know, I've moved rooms too. I don't know, it was just... And it was good to reconnect because every time we do that, like we go a long time without seeing each other, I'm always like, are they going to hate me? You know? But no, we still had a great time. And I don't know, it felt mature. Like, because I'm also afraid of, like, what if... I don't know. It all felt like we had progressed a lot. And, like, still grown as friends even though we hadn't seen each other.
Right.
And then we went to the fair. And it was... I'd never been to the state fair. I've only been to the Griffin Fair before. It was so much better. Like, they had, performers. Like,
mm-hmm.
not clowns, but, like, acrobats. That's the word.
Mm-hmm.
And, they had sea lions and a big old pig and, like...
Did they have a giraffe when you went?
No.
Dang.
But it was still really fun, and I saw some really cool things, and I got to watch some of my friends be really scared on rides. I only rode a few rides, but none of the scary ones. But I have pictures of some of my friends being terrified on the rides, and that's really fun. When we first got there, I had a spare mask in my purse,
mm-hmm.
and as we were getting out of the car, someone yells from the window of their car who's parked nearby, and they're like, "Hey, y'all got a mask I can use?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got you." And it was such a weird bonding with a stranger, like this weird communal thing of like, "Yeah, I got this." And I gave them my Walmart mask, which I wanted to get rid of anyways. So I got to help them be safe at the fair, and I got rid of my Walmart mask. Generally, just a really great time.
Good. Another great time was when I got to move all my stuff into your room and, like, officially move in and live with you.
We live together.
Some things have progressed since last year. But some things fell apart and some situations changed, and I was really lucky that I was welcomed into the house where Zachary lives, and I mean, it took, like, an adjusting period, at least for me, because of, like, anxiety. But now it's not like I wasn't here all the time anyway, you know? But now I'm so glad that I live here, because, like, having to pick between, do I want to go to this house or this house, when all I really want is to go to Zachary's house and spend time with them. Like, that's such a weight lifted off my shoulders, and now I can go to the other places when I actively want to. And then this place is my default, and I just get to be with Zachary, and that's
get to see each other every
great.
day. And we don't hate each other.
Yeah.
We actually love each other more.
Yeah.
So we have a sustainable, compatible relationship.
Go us.
Now I'm flustered and I can't remember anything. What's my number 7? My number 7 is... You're so sweet. You've wiped my brain of... Is this the right one? Hold up. Okay, yes, it is the right one. The Idols concert. So
that's number 7?
It's number 7 because so much shit went wrong that day. Idols is my favorite band.
Mm-hmm.
And it was magical to be so close to them in person and to hear them play, especially at my favorite venue, the Masquerade.
Mm-hmm.
Truly a milestone in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't get there late. I'll be clear about that. We did not get there late. The line was just so long because it was a Shaky Knees Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was also JPEG Mafia, which I would have loved to see if there wasn't Idols in the other room. And who else was there?
Someone that nobody went to see.
Yeah. No one, just someone else was there. Super long line, wrapped around. And even though we got there on time, we ended up missing like 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah.
I was kind of pissed about it. But we
Sad.
came in during Mother.
And that was great.
That was fucking phenomenal.
And it was weird for me because I was like, okay, just get in, just try, like, go to the bathroom, try to, like, find each other, whatever. And then I was like, wait a minute, I know this song. Why do I know this song? Because it had been so long since I heard Mother, because that's from their first album, right?
Yeah.
And we'd been listening mostly to their second album, and, like, had just incorporated, like, their third into, like, what I was listening to, and, like, took me all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a blast from the past to hear Mother.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my god, I forgot this song existed. I love this song.
And that's the only part of the concert I got on footage, because I don't like to really film concerts. I like to experience the moment, because it is, I don't know, for me it's such a moment to be around so many people enjoying the same things. It's like, you know, energy or whatever. But I took the time to record that song. We lost our phones during the concert. Like, in the middle of the show, I realized, oh shit, I don't have my phone. And you, I don't know if you, when you realized it, but you also didn't have your phone.
Right.
And so, I don't know, I just went with that. I was like, fuck it, we don't have our phones, we're not going to freak out about it, we're going to enjoy this concert and then deal with it when it's over. And yeah, my phone was fucking shattered. Took forever to find it, and it was unusable.
Yep.
Like, actually unusable. I lost all my photos from the past 3 years. 3.5 years. That sucked a lot, and lost the only footage of the concert, but got to see Idols.
Yeah.
Got to be so close to Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And bought a t-shirt. We both bought t-shirts.
Yeah.
And then we went to Cookout.
Yeah. It was a good time.
It was a really good time.
It was exhausting, though. Like, we drank so much water.
Mm-hmm.
Did we go to Cookout or did we go to IHOP?
Wait.
We went to IHOP.
We went to IHOP because...
You had to pee. And you thought they were going to have the restroom open, and they did not.
They did not have the restroom open, and I held it, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
I held it all the way home. We got IHOP and ate it in the parking lot, but it wasn't the IHOP in Atlanta. We went to the IHOP in East Point, or Forest Park. Somewhere south of Atlanta, we went to the IHOP there. I mean, that was great for the experience. I feel like I leveled up in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of shit went wrong.
A lot went wrong.
And that's the only reason it's so low. Because just being that at all was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What's your number 6?
I think it was in October, because it was spooky month. My best friend Tuesday and I went to go hang out in Oakland Cemetery, and we dressed up like 90s vampires, and we took pictures of everything, and it was really cool. And like, we just got to like hang out in the cemetery, and like, it was a cool day. We weren't like hot, and it was just a nice like one-on-one time with my gal pal. And it felt like the good old days, like before the pandemic. So it was like super refreshing to get back to that. And as we had to leave early because I had to pee so bad. Warning for the piss content in this
common.
podcast.
In our lives, we have to pee
24/7.
We have to pee. It's gonna be in most of our stories.
But I had to pee so bad, and the only bathroom in Oakland Cemetery is in like the guest center, but it was like after 3, so it had already closed, so there was nowhere to pee. So we left, and as we were leaving, I swear there was a goth band getting ready for a photo shoot. There were these 3 women, like, fully dressed in full goth regalia, and a photographer, and I was like, I know what's happening there. Like, you can't convince me they weren't a band. They didn't have instruments or anything, but I'm sure of it. Like, That's the cover of their EP somewhere. And then we went to Sweet Hut, and any time at Sweet Hut is a good time. They have, like, pastries and milk teas and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Love Sweet Hut.
So yeah, it's good times.
So number 6 for me, and this is such an improvement from last year, because on our list for 2020 that we did last year, we said it was such a bad year because both of us put Christmas at number 1. For me, Christmas this year is number 6. And it ranked that high because nothing went wrong. 1, I got 2 Christmases because I went to your family's house, who does Christmas on Christmas Eve, which is so convenient. Yeah. Weird to me, but convenient. So then we got to have Christmas at my granny's place. The issues with my grandfather were minimal.
Yeah.
Minimal. Outside of, there was almost a hiccup with him potentially being upset that I'm trans, but played it cool. It was fine. Got in and out. The food was great.
Mm-hmm.
The presents were great. And it was, I don't know, it was kind of just a relieving time of like a sigh of relief after the year of just chilling out with the family. And we decorated the tree this year, which is like, we put it up and took it down later.
Mm-hmm.
Decorated it, had our own ornaments. I don't know. You had been to 2 other Christmases.
Yeah.
But this one felt like you were really integrating into the family. And that was really special, you know. Mm-hmm. We also thought the house was burning down.
Yeah. Turns out it was a bug. A bug flew into a lamp.
And it smelled like the house was burning down.
It went bzz and died.
When that first happened, I know I was like, does anyone else smell burning? That's because I thought I was having a stroke. I was like, this is it. But no, everyone smelled it. Was there something? It ranked so high on the list, even though it was just a simple day, because multiple points, Granny cried happy tears. And that's something that doesn't happen often. And it means a lot to me to be able to make her happy, you know, after she raised me. And, you know, I don't know, it just meant a lot. I feel like it was a very special Christmas for everyone.
Yeah.
Very, I don't know, I don't really feel Christmas magic that much because not a Christian. I think it's a bullshit capitalist influence holiday and all these traditions are flawed. But this year, there was a magic to it. It did feel better than the rest in a way. Alright, that's 5 so far from both of us. We're going to be back right after this quick break. On today's episode, we don't have a sponsor, but what I would like to do is ask if you could donate to the reunion concert, the greatest reunion ever, which is something that me and other former students of William Tennyson, also known as Mr. Don, kind of a local hero in Griffin if you are into music and have ever taken lessons from him. He's inspired a lot of kids' lives, and back in 2018, he moved to Virginia to be closer with his family as he is getting older, and more recently, he has had some health problems. And so we're throwing a reunion concert, a concert just like the ones we used to hold, to give him a big hurrah and a thank you for all of the love he's given us and all of the skills he's given us. So please, the GoFundMe will be in the description below. We need at least $500 more than we've raised so far, which is $500. So I know we can do it. Thank you for your support. This makes a huge impact on local artists in the Spalding County area. And it really will mean a lot for one of the greatest music teachers to ever live. We're back and on number 5. All right, Jim, now back to you. Thanks, Bob.
Oh, it's good. Me first?
Yeah.
The Women's March was my 5th moment. It was great. We, were a super long line of people, and we were marching the streets, and it was so great. It felt great to be, literally on the front lines fighting for abortion rights, something that we believe so strongly in, and
we were literally on the front lines.
Yeah,
we were
the very
in
front.
the front.
And just to be able to actively do something to fight for our rights was great. Like, sucks that we have to fight for our rights, but, like, great to be a part of it. Like, if a revolution's gonna happen, you want to be a part of it, you know? Mm-hmm. It feels good to be a part of it. How far did we walk? Like...
Easily over a mile.
Yeah.
Easily over a mile. We started at the Capitol.
Mm-hmm. But we,
and
we circled back.
We marched all the way... Oh my god, where the fuck did we go?
It was a long
We went
walk.
Through the Georgia State campus. And then around and all the way back to the Capitol. It was easily over a mile. I don't know exactly how long it was, but we walked a long way.
And, like, by the end of it, like, everything was sore. Like, our vocal cords were shot because, of course, we were chanting.
The whole time.
We stopped traffic. It was great. And then after that, we went to IKEA.
Mm-hmm.
Had lunch at IKEA. Got some shelves for our room. Yeah.
That was a great moment. That's honorable mentions on my list because that really was such a great moment as well. Thousands of people in that line. Mm. My voice is giving out now.
I felt liberated just having, like, just being there, you mm-hmm. know? Which is a little backwards, but it's fine. Like, it was just such a special moment.
I feel like it was good to put Brian Kemp in his place and our state legislator, Republican-led state legislator, because they're trying to do the same thing they did in Texas here, and doing things like that is like a threat.
Yeah.
You know. But my number 5 is the day we went to Peach Street Peddlers. That's how I refer to it, but we did a lot that day.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, we were going up there to do something with the warehouse we worked at. The manufacturing place we worked at.
Yeah.
Not the distribution center, my bad.
To, like, try to get you a job there.
Right, so I hadn't gotten the job yet, right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going up there to try and get the job. If that's the same day I'm thinking of, then I did get the job. That day. It may not have been. Either way. Afterwards, and we knew we were going to do this, we went to Olive Garden. Love Olive Garden. I really love channeling that, like, I forgot her name, but there's like this Instagram mom who loves Olive Garden. Really channel that energy. Had a great time at Olive Garden. We also, this is the time I think we had to wait, and we walked to a furniture store mm-hmm. that day and talked about things we liked in houses and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Planning our future house and all that.
And then afterwards, went to Peach Street Peddlers, which I had never been to before. Mm-hmm. And I knew, and you had been wanting to take me there.
Peach Street Peddlers is a flea market with an antique mall inside of it, for those of you who don't know. Mm-hmm. It's great.
If you come to Georgia to visit, like if you're from out of state, and you come to Georgia, go to Peach Street Peddlers. It is very interesting. One, it's a flea market, so just a great place to buy things in general and support smaller businesses. But then also, the antique museum, mall, mm-hmm. like, very interesting. A lot of things in there that there's just a lot of things in there. Like, some of it was like very nostalgic of like, wow, this is like my grandparents, great grandparents, like sort of stuff that I know that they sort of grew up around and I've seen before, and it was like, I don't know, very interesting. Some pop culture stuff that was in there was very interesting, but then also a lot of racist shit that was in there, just like
not cool.
Not well.
We're not praising that.
No, it's like not. It's a reminder. Not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like within lifetimes of many people who are still alive, that like racism was a lot more common, and it still is, but like in a different way. I mean, like having racist iconography decorating your house and as a regular entertaining part of your life, like minstrel shows and how they went on until like the 70s, like shit's very recent. And I don't know. And they just have that shit. Like they have like a lot of like weird old racist shit just mixed in with like other things, like vintage Mario toys or stuff. But it bought two very cool things there. One was this fucked up Pikachu dancing thing, and I wish I had it with me right now to show on camera. It's this weird fucked up like mechanical dog that looks like Pikachu with a little red bow tie. It's great. I had to get it when I saw it. And then also from the actual antique mall, I got an original pressing of why am I blanking out on this? What Now My Love by Herb Alpert. And I kind of want to start a Herb Alpert collection because I already had an original pressing of Whipped Cream, and I'm a huge Herb Alpert fan. So that was a great find, and all very cheap as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember afterwards, like a few days later or a week later, we went to Granny's house again, and she asked us, what was the best day of your life? And I said that day, because at the time, honestly, it was, because, and it's not something I can just say here in this video to describe it, so it may have been seeming out of place to be so high on the list, but like there was something about that day and spending all that time with you and looking and exploring around. It was one of the happiest days of my life. It really was. For almost for very minute, almost subconscious things, you know.
Mm. My number 4 was the Idols concert that we already talked about. But to add on to that, it was a lot of fun. There was some crowd surfing.
We didn't do any though.
No. But oh my god, I got punched in the back of the head and also in the jaw. And I think I got bruised pretty bad by somebody's boots on my shin. Those are all bad things. But I had a great time.
It's battle scars.
Yeah. And, I mean, they played a couple of my favorite songs from them. One of them being, what's it called, Love Song?
Mm-hmm.
Love Song. And it was good. It was like, it's like a thing we sing together.
They played Love Song for longer than any other song.
Yes.
They played Love Song for like 10 minutes.
Yes, and it was great. It was great.
My number 4 is the day before Election Day.
Mm.
Because it was sort of the pinnacle of the whole election cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in case anyone doesn't know, I ran for local office. I ran for the city commission in the district I live in, the city of Griffin. And the day before Election Day, so November 2nd? Was it on November 3rd this year? Or was it I think it doesn't matter. The day before the election, the whole morning I was organizing on the phone, coordinating with Black Voters Matter, coordinating with my campaign manager, coordinating with volunteers, getting everything set up to turn out voters on the last minute,
Mm-hmm.
Had to get people to go out and vote the next day. So we already had one person who wanted to volunteer, who I had no opportunity to get help us volunteer until this point, and she came through with the clutch that last minute, and went with you, which I'm sure was very scary for you to go. You're sort of alone and canvass, but I'm so glad you did. You and her went to canvass one of the big Democratic bases, like neighborhoods that we knew everybody would be a Democratic voter and likely to vote, while I took on the harder voters by myself on foot because I didn't want to put you two through that, and I had avoided this part. It's a rich part, the richest part of the district I was running in, and I had avoided them because my policies focus on the working class, and so I was really trying to turn out the working class, but rich people are more likely to vote, so that's why I saved them for the last day, because I was like, they wouldn't have issue. They would not have a scheduling problem with going out to vote the next day, whereas someone who works 50 hours a week would. So on foot, I walked all around this place, knocking on these really rich houses, dealing with people who were more confrontational than anyone else I had dealt with canvassing. But it was still really good. I was like, I'm out here doing the work. And I had some bad people. I had some really good people who were accepting. And I talked to some people who didn't even live there. They were just walking around, working. I talked to some workers as well that were like working on landscaping these wealthier houses as well. I don't know, it was generally a good time. But then also, Antonio Daza, who I had been in contact with over the phone, who's running in this year, 2022, for the 11th Congressional District in Georgia. So it's kind of a big honor to meet this guy. He came down, was going to help canvass, but because of how far the drive is, didn't have time because the sun was going down. But we met up with him. I got to show him my favorite local restaurant. Had some really good talks about progressive action, and why both of us are running and how we can help each other. And gave him a tour of downtown Griffin. That it really made me feel like a big part of this community. Being able to show an outsider who may potentially serve us in the United States Congress, the city that I've lived my whole life in, Had a really good time. He's a really cool guy. And it was just the big coming together of the whole election. Just canvassing all day, organizing all day, and then spending time meeting someone who is also an activist and running for office.
My third best moment of 2021. It's my birthday. The day of my birthday was like, okay, I was pretty anxious that day. We did a lot of driving that day, so not the best moment, but I was very happy to get to spend time with. That morning, I went to go see my dad at his work. So I had a good morning with him, and then Zachary and I went running all over creation, and finished off at Zachary's granny's house and had dinner and cake and just a good time. And then a few days later, the only thing that I wanted for my birthday was for my dad and his girlfriend, my brother and his at the time fiance, and me and Zachary to all go out to eat for dinner at my favorite restaurant, Olive Garden. And that's what we did. We had such a good time. It was awesome. We were gonna take 2 vehicles because, 6 people in one vehicle. We didn't really have a vehicle that accommodated that. But my dad's girlfriend has a Subaru, which holds 5 people. And it has a really big trunk. Is this illegal? Can I say this?
It's already happened and over. Legality's gone. It's as a joke in Minecraft.
So my brother was like, get in, hop all in, we're taking one vehicle. And he hopped in the back of the trunk and sat the whole 40-minute drive to Olive Garden, cramped, not having a good time, just stored in the back, rest in peace. But and then we got to Olive Garden, and there was a long wait, so we got to go to the shopping center nearby. And we didn't get to shop around a whole lot, but we went into a soda shop.
It's called Rocket Fizz.
And that was fun. We got to look at all the candy and soda and stuff. Didn't really get a lot, but it was good just to be there. I was so glad that the 6 of us just got to hang out together. And then on the way home, Bryant's still in the back. We decided we would play categories.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, these people can't play categories for nothing. It was tragic. Barely. You can barely.
I did good, comparatively.
But it was very competitive the whole drive home, and we had such a good time.
My number 3 is my birthday. We had just, the day before, gotten the 2nd dose of the vaccine, right? Am I remembering that right?
Yep.
And so you're like, okay, confident enough to go to a sit-down restaurant. Because even when I had the 1st dose and went to the fair, it's an open air fair, So it was I wasn't confident enough to go into a closed area.
Right.
With the 2nd dose, I was like, let's go to my favorite restaurant, which is called El Charro's. I always say that wrong. It's El Charro. And we went, it was just me, you, and Granny. And we had margaritas because I was 21. I'm the youngest out of the 3 people I just said. Just turned 21, ordered a margarita, had a good time, and then we went home to have the party, which the same friends that I had just hung out with earlier in the month came over, as well as my dad's boyfriend. Did anyone else go? Tuesday, Bryant, Jillian, all came.
The whole family.
It was the first time I've had a gathering since the pandemic started.
Of course.
Excuse me. So it had been over a year. Now, I don't want to brag, but I was a bit of a party animal before the pandemic. And so going a year without, proper parties sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the breakthrough. And I had just turned 21, so you know I got fucking shit-faced. And I don't know, we had the couch on, we had put that day the couch on the back porch.
Mm-hmm.
And there was already a couch on our front porch.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so cool to be able to walk around the house, and no matter where we went, there were still people and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone basically got me alcohol for the gift because it's 21. Once we got drunk enough and it got nighttime, things got crazy. Like, we tried to play a game and that barely worked. But then me and two of my friends went on a walk down through, like, the neighborhood we live in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, they are so fucking drunk. This is not going to go well. And I was super drunk, and I was still sober enough to be like, this is not going to go well. But it did. Nothing went wrong. I mean, other than one of them dropped out because the other one ran away on purpose,
mm-hmm.
knowing that this person can't run.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, nothing went wrong with that. We were safe. It was fine. Got back. And successful party. Just a great successful party after a pandemic, over a year of not really partying.
Mm-hmm. And then the next morning, we went to Waffle House with two of the friends and got home and were the most hungover.
Mm-hmm.
And just watched Letterkenny until our hangovers were off.
Yep, we're still watching Letterkenny.
We're still hungover.
Yes. And now we're in the top tiers. Top 2 for each of us.
Okay, well, a little spoiler alert happened earlier, but I'm going to talk about my brother's wedding now. So my brother has been with his now wife. They've been dating since middle school.
It's fucking white people shit. Not to call them out. But I did, and I am, and I'm going to own it. I'm calling them out on public record as some white people shit.
Oh my god. Okay. So they've been together for a long, long time. And they've been engaged. They've been engaged for a while.
I would say a year.
I thought it was a year, maybe. And like they were like trying, like sorta to plan a wedding, but they were like, let's be realistic. Ain't nobody got no dang money. And then they were like, screw it, let's just do it. And so they ended up getting married in a local park in their pajamas, and they made everyone who came wear pajamas as well. And it was a very cute ceremony. They looked very in love. They looked so happy to finally be married after spending all this time with each other. And then afterwards, the majority of the people there went to a restaurant nearby, Slices, and we all had pizza. So that was like their reception. And it was very cute. It was a good time. If you haven't noticed a theme, I miss my family. And so this year was a lot of like trying to reconnect with my family, because sometimes you just pop off, you just fall out of existence. And that's what had been happening.
Yeah, pandemic vibes.
Yeah. It was a really good time. I was very happy that I was there to watch my little brother get married to the girl he loves. And now I've got a sister-in-law, and I love her very much.
I did not go.
No.
My number 2, though, is the Griffin Pride Potluck, which is so important because apparently Spalding County has never had a public pride event before. I organized that event.
Mm-hmm.
I organized and hosted the first ever Pride event in Pride Month in Spalding County, Georgia. And it went so well. Like, if it hadn't been for this event,
You wouldn't have.
I would not have ran for office.
Yeah.
All the opportunity, not all, but a lot of the opportunities I have gotten since then have been because of this event.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried really hard on it. Made flyers, advertised on social media, advertised in person in the local area. Really tried to turn the gay out. Really tried to turn the gays out. And this was a chance for me to publicly display me as a non-binary person. Because a lot of people just don't know non-binary people exist or anything about it. So this is a chance to talk about, one, the realities of being queer, and two, talk about very important political issues that, of course, disproportionately affect queer people, and other marginalized groups. But, I try not to speak for them, of course. But, I gave a speech, and a lot of it was pointed towards Senate Bill 202, which is infringing on voting rights. And that's a huge issue when the people who get elected literally make the laws that affect people's everyday lives. And we know how that can affect queer people because gay marriage wasn't legal until 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of places it took longer than that to even still, just because of state laws and people subverting the ability to people to get married, and then also discriminatory laws. There are states to this day that have laws that allow businesses to discriminate against queer people. There are some newer laws in places, at the time, I remember part of the speech, I was talking about a law that had just passed in Tennessee, which, if you allow trans people in your business, you have to put a sign on your door.
Mm-hmm.
That's straight up Nazi shit. How can you marginalize a group of people so far that you have to identify that you even allow them in your business? And so these are things that I pointed out, and at this event I had a surprisingly good turnout. So I garnished support from the local Democratic Party to help get the food for the event. And then also we had speakers. We had Ben Turner, who's running for lieutenant governor, come and speak. And the local chair of the Democratic Party. We were supposed to have Matthew Wilson come too, but he was busy. And I don't know, it was a really good turnout. It was great to see the community come together, a bunch of queer people, some allies. It was genuinely such a, I don't even have the words for it. It was powerful. Mm-hmm. It was powerful to see community in a place that I've grown up in, relatively small place, which I have witnessed discrimination my whole life towards me and towards so many people in my life. Mm-hmm. To be able to do something to actually help people be safer and be more informed, and to help forge a better world in the little piece of the world that I get to live in. It's truly an honor. Truly, truly an honor. A little emotional. But number one, we're at number one, best moments of the year. I have a guess as to what yours is.
I have a guess as to what... Do you want, on the count of three, we'll just say it?
Yes.
Alright.
Our anniversary.
So we celebrated our 2-year anniversary in December of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And we already had tickets to the Masquerade doing a disco dance party, and like for the night before our anniversary. And so we were like, why don't we just treat ourselves to like an anniversary little getaway weekend? So we spent our anniversary weekend in Atlanta in like a hotel room.
Mm-hmm. We're really good at being in sync on number one. We did this last year.
No,
and I kind of love it.
Yeah.
I love that for us. Yeah, we got one of the cheapest hotel rooms we could, but it was still nice. We got to be on the 4th floor, which made it nicer, even though it's the same price.
Yeah.
I am a fiend for hotels. I love hotels. I would just go somewhere to be in a hotel. Don't even need to go anywhere else. Mm-hmm. But we did, because there's a day pass. So for less than $100, we got to go to... We could have gone to 5 places, but we only went to 4 places over the course of 2 days. Mm-hmm. Well, not including the Masquerade, which wasn't on the day pass. We went for the disco, which didn't go as planned, but we looked good. We looked damn good. And then we spent the day of our anniversary going to the aquarium, mm-hmm. and the aquarium, Johnny Rockets, and the World of Coke. It's great to go back to those places. Other than, I'd never been to Johnny Rockets, but World of Coke and the aquarium, great to go back there. Love fish.
And I've never been to the World of Coke, so that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they sell alcohol at the aquarium. So I got tipsy at the aquarium.
And I would have too, but I had just started medication where I can't drink anymore. I was an alcoholic until I started that medication. Now I can't drink. But they sell alcohol at the aquarium. So we're going to go back one day and you're going to get drunk at the aquarium.
It was so much fun. I can't even imagine how I would act drunk at the aquarium, because I was a little off my rocker just being tipsy. I had 1 vodka soda, as in like a can of vodka and soda. It was like 9% maybe. And I was like, I wanted to scream at the fish, you know? Like, every fish was the prettiest fish I'd ever seen. And also, like, it was our anniversary, so I was like, Zachary, hug me. Like, mm-hmm. Hold my hand. Like, just tipsy mm-hmm. things, you know?
We kissed in front of the sharks. And one of the sharks, the hammerhead, which you said was your favorite, came right up mm-hmm. and pressed itself against the glass. Like, right in front of you.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool.
Magical.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, we went to the zoo.
Yep.
And the Fernbank Museum, mm-hmm. which I've never been to the zoo, and so that was really cool to get to see all the animals. You can check a video of that on my TikTok at WaffleHouseHo_. Loved that. It was so fucking cold though.
So
it was cold. Ridiculously cold.
And I was worried. I was worried about the temperature the whole time that I was like thinking of all the things I was going to pack for this trip. And then we were like, wait a minute. we shouldn't be worried about temperature. It's been hot as hell all November long, and these first 2 weeks of December, like, shouldn't be a problem. Well, December 19th was the one day, it was the day Georgia decided to get cold, and it has not let up since.
I don't know. It got pretty hot.
No.
Christmas, it was hot. The week of Christmas, it was like spring temperature. It was scary hot. It should not have been that hot in winter.
Okay.
But yes, that day it was so cold.
I got to pet goats and sheep.
Mm-hmm. And you got scared by a pig.
I sure did. I have a deep-seated subliminal fear of pigs. Subconscious fear. They give me nightmares.
Then we went to this noodle place called Doc Che's, and
so good.
So fucking good. I had pad thai for the first time, and I didn't know it'd be sour, but it was, and I loved that. And then we went to the Fernbank Museum, which I've been to before, but it was good to go back.
And I've never been there before.
It was a lot less scary as an adult. As a kid, I was terrified, which I understood why going back as an adult. Though it's designed to be scary. It's dark in most of the rooms. You have to turn a corner, and then all of a sudden there's this weird thing there. And there's ominous music playing in certain exhibits.
Yeah.
Like, I swear it's designed to be terrifying. But it's still really cool. Like, I got to see a fingerprint that was hundreds of years old from pottery from Georgia. Like, I believe it was Wale tribe. It had a pottery with a thumbprint in it. Kind of, I had to step back for a second. It kind of blew my mind.
We saw dinosaurs.
And we got pizza.
Oh, yeah.
We got pizza from Goodfellas, which is a whole story.
Day.
Yeah, you can see that on my TikTok as well. Story behind that. I'm just so in love with you.
I'm in love with you. You're gonna embarrass me on the internet.
I had a great year. I don't want to speak for you, but like, I had a great year, which is so refreshing after how horrible, how god-awful 2020 was. And a lot of things were bad about this year, but we don't need to talk about those.
Yeah, a lot of bad things happened. But the good parts were really good parts.
So thanks for coming on the pod. Hopefully have you on sometime again to talk about something else.
Yeah, probably.
If you have any hot political topics you want to talk about, that's mainly what this pod's going to focus on, of course. So if you ever want to if something ever gets under your skin enough, you want to rant about it for an hour, you know where I live. It's the same place you do.
With me.
Thank you for watching the show. If you want to see more content like this, leave a like, let us know in the comments, hit the subscribe button, and also if you want to support me, as it is hard to get by as just an activist, I have a Patreon that'll be linked below. It should be /Xenerock or something like that. You can get on my Discord server for just $5 a month, or get your name shout out on this pod right here. And we're going to be back next Friday and every Friday after that with great guests, typically focused on local politics. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Have a great day.